Hello, hello. Welcome back to the podcast. I'm Bruno. I'm here with Paul, and we're going to be covering Department Q on Netflix this week. What's going on? What's up, Paul?
What's up? Feels like a minute. It's been a
It's been
minute.
a while.
Summer break before the summer break.
Yeah, someone asked me today. He's like, "Hey, are you guys on a summer break? Just checking." I was like, "No, no, no. We're coming back." I didn't want to tell him like we're actually recording tonight, just to. But yeah, we've been out for a while. I took some time off for some vacation, and then I had some family over, and everyone just has family affairs, kids, work, life, things happen. So we decided to take a little hiatus, regroup, but we're back.
We are
Um,
both of the Iberian blood. We're both Portuguese, so
that's true.
I'd like to give a shout out to Portugal winning the League of Nations, the only team to win it twice.
I was so excited. I went to my brother's
Amazing.
house to watch it, and it was nerve wracking because it was like back and forth, goal, 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 and it was tied 2-2 going into penalties. And I had faith because Portugal has some really good penalty takers and a decent enough goalkeeper to stop one. And yeah, I was ecstatic, man. I was ecstatic.
This gives me a lot of hope going into the World Cup next year,
Yeah,
and it was amazing to watch and good for Ronaldo. It's just awesome, awesome. And coming off of that game where Spain and France played each other, and it was like a 9 goal thriller,
yeah,
and to come into this game, it was phenomenal. But anyway, just wanted to give a quick shout out. Our
yeah.
League
A
of Nations
seleção.
Nations Cup winner, Portugal.
Um, as I said, we're going to talk about Department Q. It's a new crime thriller series on Netflix. But before that, we should catch up a little bit. It's been a minute. I know you've been to the movies a ton. I've only recently had the chance to go back to the movies, and I feel like I want to close the chapter on a couple of series that sort of that ended while we were away. Specifically, the studio, The Last of Us. And there's a few that I still need to finish, the Rehearsal and Government Cheese. I need to finish both of those.
Wait, you didn't finish rehearsal?
No, I didn't.
My main thing on that was the finale, so I don't want to blow it. You
Okay,
got to see the rest of rehearsal.
but you liked it.
It took a twist, man, that I was not expecting, and it was just like, did I like it? I mean, he's got a weird sense of humor, man. Like you know what I mean? Like
Totally.
he is different. You gotta like that type of sense of humor to enjoy his show. Whatever he does, it's always across the board. He's the same guy. He doesn't change.
Yeah.
Even if
All,
you've seen him in interviews and everything, he's the same.
all I saw was fucking Nathan Fielder pop up on CNN recently that keeps showing up on my YouTube feed. It's like a
That's
20-minute segment.
if you didn't watch the finale, don't watch any of the interviews. I saw him on. He was on a bunch of interviews because what happened at the end was just like I was not expecting it. It was just
And
totally unexpected.
remind me, had you seen the Rehearsal season one?
I did.
Oh, you did. Okay.
And this definitely took a different turn. I think this season was a little more serious, but with his weird, sarcastic
Yeah, like, is it
humor to it.
serious? Kind of.
But damn, man, like what he did in this season in this finale, like the last episode just totally pivoted. Like
Okay.
it was crazy. It was just nuts. You got to watch it. I don't want to ruin it.
Because I
Well,
felt like
definitely worth watching.
season one, it was a slow pivot. It was like trying to turn the ship around, kind of slow pivot. But I didn't enjoy it, and it just didn't work for me. I fell off that show. So I'm glad to hear that this one has a much better ending, because his shows, yeah, they take hard turns. Even from episode 1 to 2, I think it turned a little bit.
Well, I don't want to hype it up that it's a good ending. I just want to say that it's like a complete 180 what I was expecting.
Okay.
This finale was different. It blew my mind. Like I was just like, wow.
To your point about Nathan Fielder just being in character 24/7, uh, a parallel that it reminds me of is Pee Wee Herman in the 80s. I did watch the Pee Wee Herman documentary on HBO. It's a great character study. I know it didn't get a lot of hype, and a lot of people are, some people calling it boring, etc. I found it really, really interesting, and I think he's a super interesting person now that you get some behind the scenes. But he was also another person who was Pee Wee 100% of the time. That one came back to ultimately kind of, it ruined his career, and then he was able to recover. But you see him talking about that transformation in real life, and him making that decision to say, hey, I got to be Pee Wee full time. And that's going to have a bigger impact on my audience, because they don't want to, if they see the real me, it's going to kind of water down the character that I created.
And we've heard this before from other actors that have been like typecast because they had a huge role, whether it be a series that go on for 10 years or a huge movie that made their career, and then they're typecast after that, and they're kind of living that character.
Yeah, you get stuck.
And it sucks because like those shows are amazing, but you kind of understand what they're saying because that's it for their career. Like that's like, so I get it.
Well, he got caught beating off in a movie theater.
Yeah, that I remember. And I kind of I tried watching it, but I guess I fell on the side of the fence of the people that kind of thought it was like a little dry, a little boring.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, no way. I think the episodes were how long? It was 2
It was
episodes, right?
2 hours almost each episode. Only 2 episodes, but still.
Yeah, it was a big commitment. I was like, there's so much other stuff, and I was like, I tried the first 10 minutes, and I was like, yeah, I don't know. I
I get
can't do it.
hooked. You know when I get hooked? When it's like, oh, did you realize that Phil Hartman was on the Pee Wee show originally, and they went to comedy school together? As soon as I hear stuff like that, I'm like, oh my God, I'm in. This is like so interesting to hear that like these different comedians kind of grew up under the same like sort of umbrella and worked together for so many years, but I only knew them as individual, totally separate characters in my, comedy universe.
And that happens a lot, man. Like
Tons,
Kevin Feige, like he was big on the X-Men, the original X-Men movies,
right?
right? And then that's how he got his start. And now he's the head of Marvel, and he's bringing those old X-Men back. So it's kind of funny, like a lot of these backstories you hear.
I love that stuff, like all the webs, how different people are connected through Hollywood or whatever. I find it really interesting, especially in worlds that you're naturally attracted to, like whether it's comic books and superheroes or comedians in that sort of era. But yeah, it's hard for me to recommend Pee Wee unless you're just like into, character studies and things like that. I wanna. Do you want to talk about the studio? Just because we loved it so much and we never got to really talk about the finale together.
Yeah, I mean now it's a little like a little dated out of my mind. But what a it was a fun season. It was really fun. A good
Yeah,
finale too. Um, the way they ended it, there was one part I can't remember it now because it's been a minute. But the finale was pretty
was
dope. I
insane.
enjoyed it.
Was
Yeah,
completely cocaine out of its mind. Hilarious.
yeah, yeah. And
um,
everyone I think did a really good job. Like, I mean, Catherine Hare, she's been popping up everywhere. Catherine Han, she's been like, Dave
she's been in.
Franco, like just
Yo,
people.
he
He
owned
was dope.
that.
Yeah,
It gave. He just like got to shine for like 5 minutes straight here, and then in the first episode, and then he did the previously on voiceover for the second finale. I don't know if you
yeah.
remember that.
It's totally in character. And look, I mean, he's dealing with his brother that just got canceled. You know what I mean?
Right.
And he's got to kind of like do his own thing.
He still got,
And
yep.
like it's like, man, he was good. His new movie's coming out too. Now You See Me Part 3.
Right. Oh
But
yeah, he referenced that.
yeah. He was like
How he was cheating at casinos.
Zoe Kravitz. Like I don't know how she is in real life, but like she came off like kind of bitchy, but she was like she played it so well.
She was so good.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like even when they went to the awards dinner, like damn man, and then they pull things back, and it's kind of like definitely like a Curb Your Enthusiasm where things kind of wrap back into each other.
Yes.
But wow, yeah, I definitely like if you like comedy, if you're like into Seth Rogen's comedy and stuff like that, definitely such a worthy watch.
And it's all situational comedy. It's like, what if this producer was in this situation? What would happen? And then that's the whole episode. So they're not really like, they're ultimately all linked together, but each episode is this individual little comedy sketch kind of.
Yeah, and it builds to an overall story arc on the season, and it's
It
got like a
builds the
little.
Kool-Aid, yeah.
Yeah, it's building Kool-Aid, and it's got some heart to it too, because like, and they talk about things that are like relevant in the industry now, like what's going
Totally.
on with Amazon and buying different
And
studios.
Apple, yeah.
So it's like it's and the way they talk about it behind the scenes and Netflix and like just so like self-aware. It was really good. I liked it. It
Yeah.
was definitely. This is a recommend. Like Rehearsal, I can't say like
It's
100%
not
like
for
I
everyone.
recommend it. I'd say like if you watched it, just watch the friggin' finale. It's worth the finale. If you're not into it, don't watch it. But this one, I would say definitely watch.
Yeah. It's not even a sleeper. I think it's gotten a lot of hype. I'm sure it's going to win tons of awards too. Um, but I remember when we originally covered it, I asked the question like, is the whole show going to be about them trying to produce a Kool-Aid movie? And also commented on like, it's great to see these actors play a different version of themselves on screen. But it became so much more than that. Like, it's just highly, highly recommended. The entire cast is fantastic, and it just like at the end again, it feels like coked out, insane party, hilarious.
And the other good thing too is like it's a big cast, right? But everyone throughout the season got their time to shine. Like they had their episode moments, like you know
Yeah,
what I mean? So everyone, it's not like it was just focused on like a couple actors and then like all of them were like supporting actors. No, man. Like everyone got their time to shine. And
yeah.
it was really good.
I loved when Sal got his time to shine at the Emmys episode, where
Yeah.
everyone on stage kept referencing him, and it became a thing.
And
Just
it's like
because of how Seth's character got so mad and more anxious about it.
but like it was believable. Like something stupid
Yeah,
could pop off like that, and they're like, "Yo!" And then like they keep like everyone wants to be part of it because it's in the zeitgeist of the moment, and they're like, and then they keep referencing back to it. So
yeah,
he
yeah,
becomes the man of the night on some stupid, like
yeah.
it's so great. Like it was really good writing. It was good show, good show.
Yeah, recommend that. Do you want to go the opposite direction now and I just want to talk about The Last of Us for about 2 minutes. It
Yeah, she got serious real quick.
yeah. So we watched The Last of Us season 1, which feels like it was so long ago. We loved it. Um, I like this season 2. Everybody's read tons of reviews and it's getting dunked on online to some degree. But here's my major beef with season 2. Like the character of Ellie was not portrayed like she was in the video game. She's on screen here. She's a much more unserious, uh, more childish character. She doesn't have any of the subtleties that the character in the video game has. The motion capture acting is better than Bella Ramsey's acting. And I don't know if that's just because the writing is so bad for her. And early on, I was like, the last episode that we talked about this show, I think I specifically pointed out that the character seemed really immature and childish when we first see her, which was a contrast to the other Ellie from the video game, which is a hardened, you know, more mature character who's gone through a lot. So naturally, she, and Bella's Ellie feels like you pluck a teenager out of today's world and put them in this other world, which didn't really make sense. And then they added the whole romance with Dina's character, which is in the game, but it's not like a romantic story because in the context, they're in a violent world where death is at every corner, so they don't have that sort of goofiness to it. It's much more serious in tone, and the romance is much more mature. Not in the sense that it's more explicit, but it's just handled in a different way. So yeah, there's I think that was, and I think the absence of Joel, um, played by Pedro Pascal, I just don't think Bella Ramsey can carry that show as the lead.
And
It's a lot.
that
It's a
was
lot
going to
to
be
ask.
to echo that point. I think Pedro Pascal, like the best episodes of this season I would have to say the best episode was episode 6, The Prince, where it kind of
Hmm.
like shows the back history of like what happened to them. And I loved how they timed it out by birthdays, and like,
Yeah, it's a nice
and
touch.
me as a father seeing Ellie like progress through the years and how like she goes from being his hero to like and that's just life with kids and like little by little having less and less time for him, and
Hmm.
that's a reality of life for empty nesters. Like it goes as the kids get into teenage years. So that episode hit hard, man. That was a really great episode. I think overall there was a lot of great moments in this show, in this season, but overall, like, every episode in season 1 was kind of like a banger, and it's like
Yeah.
kind of like they're being hurt by their own success because season 1 was so good it was going to be very hard to top it. um and she, I love to hope that Bella Ramsey could pull it off, but she just did not really pull it off this season. And the
No.
girl who played Abby, um I did not like that choice of casting for
Uh,
Abby.
what's the name?
Caitlin Dever or something like that.
Devers. I'll tell you this though about her character. We didn't see her for most of the show, but when she came on in the final episode, and she's like, "We let you live, and you wasted it." I was like, "Holy shit! There's an actor on the show finally!" Like she, like held that scene and captivated me.
I guess, but throughout the whole season, to me, she just was not believable. Like, and in the game, again, bringing back to the game, right? Wasn't Abby? I forgot. Abby was like kind of like she was like more bulkier. She was
Yeah,
more physically
physically, she was pretty
intimidating.
intimidating.
Yeah, and like they kind of took that aspect away from the show, and I don't know why. There was that.
Well, to speak to that, so that character got so much hate from the video game fan base. Abby's character got a lot of hate. Um, and they criticized her physique because they didn't address, they showed her working out. And the reason she's, you know, so big in the game is because she's dedicated her life to building herself up to the moment where she can finally find Joel and kill him. So she's big, intentionally. So, but she was criticized. Like the game, I'll say this about the gaming community, is probably one of the most toxic fucking communities online. Like it's just horrible people. So the game got tons of backlash because when you kill off your main character who's beloved, there's going to be consequences to that, and it requires a certain level of emotional intelligence and understanding things on a deeper level. And a lot of people just hated that, like this girl who they had never seen before just killed off the main character. That spills on to the show, I think, in many ways. So a lot of the changes from the video game to the show were in reaction to some of that negative reaction in the game. But ultimately, I think it was detrimental to make those changes. So changing her physicality, we'll see how it plays out because, yeah, she was a big, intimidating. She wasn't like 6'10", like crushing dudes, but she can kick your ass in a fight, which is the point. But I think I do like the actress. I think I still feel hopeful. I think season 3 is going to focus primarily on her. We're basically going to go back to the start of season 2, but told through Abby's eyes. And then they'll meet, and season 4 is going to be, that gunshot, basically, after that gunshot. So I know we just rambled on. I'm hopeful for season 3 just because I think Danvers, and I'm sorry if I'm butchering her name, I just think she's a much better actress than Bella Ramsey, and I think she'll be able to hold it down with that character. But we'll see. We'll see. What's missing from the show is action. Like, it's a video game, so there's constant action, but Ellie's a freaking badass in the game. Like, she's a murdering machine. Like, she is straight up on vengeance, like ripping through everything in front of her. And in this, you get this like goofy version of Ellie who's like playful and silly and making dumb mistakes. So it was hard to watch. That's all.
There was one actress, I think that's kind of like why it pissed me off even more. Um, there was one actress. She was in that movie Love, Lies, and Bleeding. She was the main actress that played opposite of Kristen
Oh, I know who you're
Stewart.
talking about. Yeah.
And
Yeah, she could have done it.
she has a physique, and she was a great actress in this movie, and I think she could have pulled it off
Yeah,
pretty
someone like
well.
that. Yeah, I agree. I agree. Like that's kind of the Abby physique that this person has.
But I gotta say, I did like some of the chemistry between Bella and Isabella, Ellie and Dina.
Hmm.
Especially, I thought Dina did a pretty good job too. Like,
Yeah, other than being like glammed up all the time for some reason, she was like always looking
yeah,
beautiful.
yeah, yeah, yeah. But
But yeah, I
yeah,
thought from an actress standpoint, I thought, and just a character, you like her more. She's like more composed. She's smarter. She's kind of solving and planning and leading the way. She's more likable. But
well, so this was a little bit of letdown, and so was another show that you recommended, but then you didn't end up watching, Government Cheese. And I thought it was a documentary. Um, it was, yeah, I thought it was like a government aid documentary until I watched it. But it had, you said it good. It had that, oh my gosh, what's that director's that kind of
oh,
humor?
the Wes Anderson
Yes, yes, it had a Wes
aesthetic.
Anderson vibe. Um, it started off pretty good. I did enjoy it. I enjoyed the main actor in it, but
Yeah, he's great.
I didn't like the finale. It felt flat for me. Like it just felt like we took this ride and we went nowhere. Like we pulled back into
Ah,
the driveway. So I didn't like it was kind of a letdown, the finale.
okay. I saw 3 episodes. I liked it. I remember liking the kids and the dynamic in the family, and then him being in trouble with uh these Italian mobsters, him finding God, and that being a theme in the show. But
I
I
think they
kind
were
of fell
French.
off. Were
Yeah,
they French?
it was like spinning wheels, man. And it's like we never got anywhere. We're just like running on the treadmill, like no going nowhere. And like
Mm,
especially with the finale, it was just like, all right. I just didn't feel satisfied.
okay. Yeah, I'm curious if they're coming back for season 2. That was on Apple TV. Um,
Another Apple real quick. The Your Friends and Neighbors with John Hamm.
yeah, I recommended that too. I didn't watch. I didn't recommend it, but I remember talking about it when it was gonna come out. What did you
I'm
think
like
about that?
2 episodes in right now, and it's like, look, it's a stereotypical like keeping up with the Joneses type thing. John Hamm loses his job, he gets screwed over, and now he lives this wealthy lifestyle. He's going through a divorce, and he's got to keep up, right?
Hmm.
So he starts robbing from the neighbors, and that's the story. But we've seen this before many times. He's just very charismatic, so it's like fun watching him do it.
Yeah.
Um, and Olivia Munn's in it, and she's beautiful. But
Is
like,
this something that you're gonna continue to watch?
yeah, I'm probably gonna end
Okay.
up. This is something I'm watching with my wife, so I'm gonna continue watching this. But
Michigan. Okay.
it's like it is. It's you know. And I'm sorry, one more. One that like I was hoping would do really good, but I just don't like the actress in it. This super popular podcast, Dying for Sex. So it's
Not
about
familiar with that.
a woman who gets diagnosed with stage 4 breast cancer, right? And she just
Oh,
wants
with Vanessa Williams?
no, not Vanessa Williams,
Not Vanessa Williams. She's a Williams though.
Michelle Williams, I think.
Michelle Williams.
I was like that. That took me down for. But yeah, so she's diagnosed with stage 4 cancer, and she's only got like maybe a year or whatever, a couple of years to live. And this is a true story. Like this show was based off the podcast.
Oh, and Jenny
So
Slate. Okay.
yeah, and her friend, who Jenny Slate plays, was like, "Do you mind if I record and you talk about your experiences?" So she just went on this like sexual revolution to like get her mind off of dying.
Okay.
And it's like her talking about her escapades, but it's got a lot of heart to it. You know what I mean? Like what this woman's going through, and like her going through these like whatever Tinder or whatever, and like these experiences, but at the same time dealing with cancer and what comes from that, and the chemotherapy, and like you know, so it was like very intense. Like, but I for me, Michelle Williams is just not pulling it off. Like
Really?
unfortunately, I think she's a great actress, but for this role, she's playing it really goofy, like you know what I mean.
Yeah. Well, you got Jenny Slate. You got the other guy from SNL. So maybe tonally, it's just not her alley.
Jenny Slate is crushing it though. as like the supportive best friend, like,
Really?
you know, oh, yo, she's crushing it. But Michelle Williams is the lead, man. She's just not like, in my eyes anyway. But like, really interesting story. A lot of heart, a lot of like contrast. Like you one moment you're laughing about this guy's like sexual kink that she's dealing with, and then in the next moment she's like passing out because she's got chemo brain, and like,
Yeah.
you know, she's going through that. Like it's intense, man. It was a really intense story. But anyway,
Yeah.
that was just another one that came up.
Okay. Yeah, that sounds like you're laughing and then suddenly it's very sobering. Um uh let's go to I just want let me before we go to main topic, Department Q, I want to give a shout out to the Phoenician Scheme that I saw with my wife last Friday. This is the new Wes Anderson movie. Um and to my surprise, this movie's freaking awesome, man. I've been on this podcast not speaking super favorably about Wes Anderson recently, but this movie's is really funny. And Benicio del Toro freaking carries the movie for its entirety. Not by himself, it's a big cast, but he's by far the main character and has most of the screen time. It's super funny. He plays like a shady, like aristocrat kind of gangster. And there's these people that are trying to mess up with his business dealings, and he kind of has to go to each one of his partners and renegotiate a deal. So it's very broken down by sort of scenes and settings. Every time he travels to a new place, there's a running joke that his plane is constantly under threat, and they're trying to constantly blow it up. And some great casting all around. Willem Dafoe. Let me see who else is in there. Michael Cera is in this. There's a Bill Murray's in this. There's a bunch of classic Wes Anderson actors that just have like very small parts.
So this recommend you definitely watched.
This I watched.
You watched this one.
Yeah, this
I
I
might
watched.
check it out. I saw the trailer for this. It looked like, you know, like a Wes Anderson movie. It looked
Yeah,
like the
and
kind of feel.
it's an hour 40, so
Oh, tight.
it's pretty tight. Yeah, yeah. So I'll recommend that if you can see it, check it out. Again, I didn't like his last like three movies very much. I thought they were kind of bland, and this one actually has like an emotional arc to it, which his movies generally don't. And I think that's probably why it resonated with me, because it's about the relationship with Benicio del Toro's character with his daughter, and he gives, because he's fearing for his life. He names his daughter as the sole heir of his business, and then he takes her on a journey with him to sort of learn the business and sort of navigate this world a little bit. So, and by the end, they reconcile, and it's
What
so it's a
what
nice
actor
story.
plays his daughter?
Let me see this person's name. Um, I thought it was Lawrence Pugh, but it's like a bizarro Lawrence Pugh. Her name is Mia Thrippleton. I don't know. She's great. I don't know what else she was in. Let me see. She was in Shadows, A Little Chaos, Scoop.
I'm
Yeah,
pulling it up now. Oh, I see this girl. Okay. Mia
yeah,
Trempleton. I don't know what I saw her in. All right. Oh, Tom Hanks is in this too? And Scarlett
yeah,
Johansson. ScarJo is in this?
yeah, yeah. Huge cast.
Damn,
Huge
he always
cast.
gets all these people out here.
Yeah, it's like he got like the all-star cast from every movie he's ever done pulled up for this.
Oh, she's not from anything like really like mainstream. Oh, a little cat. Well, nothing that I would have seen anyway.
No, she's not. I've never really seen her before.
All right.
Um, but anyway,
Well,
I
before
recommend it.
a couple little things before we hit Department Q. First thing, let's talk about the $1 billion movie. You
The
know,
what?
this thing's gonna hit $1 billion.
What
Lilo and
is?
Stitch. This little alien and his little
I was just
friend.
hitting 1 billion. That's
This
it's crazy how well it's doing.
I know, man, and it's like damn, it's running away. I wonder now what's gonna happen when How to Train Your Dragon comes out. if it's gonna like take the steam out of Lilo and Stitch. I mean, it has to, obviously.
Yeah.
They're fighting for the same audience. And I'm hearing great things from How to Train Your Dragon too. Like I heard Lilo and Stitch was really good. I mean, they changed some things up. People weren't happy about it, but it hit steam, man. And it's like,
Yeah.
well, I think I texted out that thing today. It was like 100 million to make, and it's already at 700 million right now. So like it crushed it. Like for a Disney movie, I mean, like Disney has not had a great track record with these live action movies in the last couple
Yeah.
of years.
But I think
So this one
this
blew it
one,
up.
I think it doesn't have the looming shadow of the original film. Like the original film was a nice hit, but it wasn't a Lion King or one of those big 90s movies. And it wasn't anything after like the Pixar movies either. It was one of the last animated movies I think that they made. I remember liking it at the time, and Stitch was a cute character, and Lilo's obviously another cute character, but it didn't have that kind of, I don't know, that staying power that a lot of other like Finding Nemo, for example, which came out shortly after that. And I think that's what kind of helped it this time around too. It didn't have any baggage. It was just a feel good movie.
Yeah, I mean there are those diehard fans that love it because they did it was popular because they did like 3 or 4 movies and they did a TV show for it. So it
Yeah.
hit like for a minute. But that little girl was friggin' amazing, man. That little girl who played Lilo, she was amazing. And the story they changed it, good or bad, whatever. It definitely had a ton of heart to it. And that's and I'm hearing the same thing too about How to Train Your Dragon. Like it has like, but this one is more like a beat for beat copy compared to Lilo and Stitch, and like the
Okay.
heart shines through.
Yeah, I didn't really remember the original very much. To be honest, I haven't seen it since it came out. Um,
Yeah, we knew going into this because we went to go see it at the drive-in too, which was cool.
oh, cool.
Um, so we watched the cartoon one like the weekend before in prep to watch this. But it was a dope experience, like just seeing it at the drive-in and like people being into it. It was pretty cool.
I thought it was extremely average. I didn't think there was anything special about this movie. And I only saw it because my wife wanted to see it, and I was like, let's take my niece and nephew. And they thought it was fine. They weren't really, I don't think it really left an impression on them. Um, but it wasn't a bad movie, and I think I was I was I was surprised that uh Galifianakis was in this movie with a haircut, number one. But
And he was the worst. Like he was not a great part in it either.
because
Like
he was playing like a straight man kind of, which is not
yeah,
his thing.
it was
Um,
not like he was such a bad choice for the like I think they made a couple bad moves in the movie. I enjoyed it. I had a good time. But like changing the accent, like that was a big part of it. Like certain things I know you can't do live action. But they couldn't be like aliens dressed up in like a wig, the whole movie like they
yeah,
were in the
yeah.
cartoon. But like certain things you could have kept more truer to the story, to the original. But he was kind of like a miss for me. The little girl was like the highlight. I think she was like, and that was her first like movie gig, and
Yeah.
she blew it up, man. She was amazing.
Yeah, I thought the character of her sister was played well, even though I felt like her direction was kind of like they just said, just be as stressed as you can be. Just be
Yeah,
stressed. Because I was like her the whole movie, just constantly stressed out. Uh yeah, like I said, I thought the movie was pretty average, but it did have heart, and you know, at the end of the movie, it's such a heartwarming ending that you end up feeling good. When I left the theater, I was like, "Oh, this was a nice movie." But when I was watching, I was like, "This is a kind of a boring movie," and I kind of wanted it to end. But they got
that's
they
that's a
got the landing.
that's a great point. It's the way you leave the theater, and they left you feeling like warm and fuzzy and like good. So it was a
100%.
great way. There's been movies that have been amazing movies, right? And then they have such a shitty ending, or like such a horrible
It
cutscene,
lets
like
a
an end credit,
letdown. Yeah.
and you're like, and you leave with that bad taste in your mouth, and it just sucks, man. It just sucks.
Yeah.
Oh, and the other one I got to see recently just dropped on Hulu. Predator Killer of Killers.
Tell me
It's
about this. What's the? Just give me a brief like plot. What do
so
we?
animation. It's kind of like an anthology, but they tie it up. It's a three-story anthology. They tie it up um, in the last act. Three different stories,
Oh, interesting. Okay.
and like you're just following, humans throughout time. It's all different time periods too.
Like
And
encounters with the predators.
yes, and that they've survived and actually killed or beat the predator, and like three different stories. Um,
Is
I
it
don't want to go
told?
into too much detail about like what the stories are. They're pretty cool to watch. The finale, though, the final act, um, after the three stories are told, ties them all together in a very interesting way. And like there's like a little small like mid-credit scene before the credits hit that even brings it back to one of the earlier movies in the franchise, which was super cool.
Damn.
Seeing that. So like overall, like it was pretty dope. But look, people are like, oh, this is the best Predator movie since like Prey. And like, yeah, because it doesn't have to carry the baggage of doing like a total story arc and all this character development. When you're doing like an anthology set in a movie in an hour and a half or whatever, you
Yeah.
don't have to dedicate that much time to each character and really build them up. Whereas if you had a standalone movie and they're all focused, it's all focused on that one main character, you have to build all this like, thing behind the character. So it's like it gets away with
Feels
that.
fresh. Yeah.
So it's fresh, like every like whatever 45 minutes, 30 minutes is a new fresh thing to jump into. And the action was insane, but you could pull that off with animation. You know what I
Hmm.
mean?
Yeah.
But otherwise, like thumbs up, man. It was pretty dope. Like if you're a Predator fan, this is a definite watch.
Yeah.
And the way they tied in, and now they got another live action movie coming out, Predator Badlands in November. Um, I think I think they're really trying to build this back up, like Hulu. Well, not Hulu, but whatever the studio behind it. They're trying to build up Predator and Alien again, and
Yeah. They should.
like so far, the last Alien movie was dope. The Predator movie before this, Prey, was really dope. This movie, like it's animation, but it's dope. So they've been knocking it out of the park, scaling it back and like making it like horror again. It's dope.
I see it's the same director who's doing Predator Badlands as who did the Killer of Killers. So that consistency is really good when they're able to do that.
And he said Badlands is like another organic extension of Predator Killer of Killers. So like live action animation type mix, like that's dope. That's cool the way they're doing it.
Okay. All right, let's do
One
main topic real quick.
one last one.
What do you got?
One thing that's out in theaters now that I haven't got a chance to watch, and I really like to hear back, like if anybody got to see it, what they thought of it, was Bring Her Back. These are from the twin
I thought you
directors.
saw that.
No, I'm dying to see her. This is from the two directors like a year ago did Talk to Me. These guys were like stupid YouTubers that did like backyard wrestling or whatever they did, and they came up with this cool concept for a horror movie. And Talk to Me was out the park, man. Like it was a cool concept, totally different type of horror story. They did a wonderful job. So now this sophomore, movie that they're doing, I want to see what it's like. Bring Her Back. So if anyone's seen it, any thoughts or whatever, I definitely want to check it out.
If you've seen it, drop something in the comments. Let us know. I know Pedro was he mentioned that in our summer preview. I'll watch it when it's on streaming. I think. I
These
still
guys
gotta
have
look.
like just a different way of thinking, and like the concept of like Talk to Me was really really good.
That's
Totally
the one
different.
with the hand. The hand grabs you or something.
Yeah, and
Okay.
the way it ends is like I just rewatched it because I was like, man, I like these guys. These guys are like they're so high energy. If you ever catch them like on an interview, they're on Joe Rogan. They were like they've been all over the place. And these two like they seem like two idiots, but like wow, man, they had a cool concept and they knocked it out the park. So I hope they did good with Bring Her Back.
Okay. Department Q. Paul and I, we both saw, I think, 2.5 episodes, three roughly. This is a show that is on Netflix. This is a Scottish TV show. So get ready for some hardcore Witcher 3 fantasy video game accents because that's what these guys all sound like.
Based on a Danish novel series.
Yeah. So you know it's good. When you tell me this thing was written by like a Norwegian or a Swedish or one of those, I'm like, okay, this is good. This might be interesting. But it basically follows Carl Mork, who's like a detective. It opens with him being involved in the shooting where he gets badly wounded. His colleague is also badly wounded and paralyzed, and then another police officer gets killed. And it's told through the viewpoint of a body camera, which is insane because there's such a sweet. I'm kind of spoiling the scene already because there's a nice twist in the first 5 minutes of the show. But when he recovers, he gets assigned to this brand new police department that is taking over these unsolved crimes to improve the poor detection rates. And he's offered this, the department is offered a huge budget. He gets pretty much none of it, but he gets a basement to work out of, and he takes on this other case. He works with a civilian employee who kind of comes out of nowhere, Akram Salim. This guy steals the show for me, kind of. His assistant. Yeah. I love this guy. I love this dude. I gotta go watch him and other things. And he's like a former Syrian IT guy / police person. And he's just like really good at his job. So it feels like, oh my God, now I'm blanking. Sherlock Holmes and Watson vibe.
So that's exactly what that's exactly what I was going to say too about.
Okay.
It's like an abrasive Matthew Good is the main guy, right? And you've seen him in a lot of stuff. He's a great actor, Matthew Good. He's been in like Leap Year, The Imitation Game.
What's the big one
Watchmen,
though? The Watchmen,
yeah, Watchmen, like Leap. He's been like he's an English actor. He's really good. That guy that you just said, I can't say his name, Alexei,
yeah.
He was in Chernobyl, and he was also
right.
in Jack Ryan. Yeah, he was good too. But this is basically Sherlock Holmes. It's an abrasive, intelligent detective who's solving murders, and Alexei is basically Watson. You know what I mean? Like, and you're just following that story. So it's another variant of Sherlock Holmes, which like it's been done so many times. Like I like Matthew Good, and that's what kept me watching. And I do like Alexei. I like that the contrast between the two of them and like their kind of like relationship being developed. But it's like if it wasn't for that, like I don't know if I'd keep watching it because it's just like another Sherlock to me, and I'm kind of tired with so many variants of that.
I would agree. I would say this is a very high level variant of that. This is almost as good as he can get in terms of storytelling and characters, writing. Every exchange when he is talking to in episode 2, when he's talking to like the woman who's taking care of the brother of the person they're looking for, to say it in one way, like that whole exchange is, I'm locked in. When he's talking to the cop in Glasgow at the cops police station about like the family history of the victim that they're looking for, like I'm so hooked on every conversation. I just feel like it's so engaging. In addition to that, I mentioned that there's like a twist in the first 5 minutes, not a twist, but like a little surprise, but there's a huge plot twist right in the first episode, at the end of the first episode, that sets the stage for everything that the series is going to be about and focus on, which I did not see coming. I don't want to spoil that, but I thought that was
I was so confused when that popped up. I was like, what the fuck? What is going on, man?
Yeah.
Like, where is this? What is happening right now? And then you're like, oh, okay. Now I see.
Yeah. Then it gets a little bit tied together, and now you're just sort of moving forward on this line. But again, like the world, put me in Scotland, man. It's beautiful. It's cold. Everything is brown and gray. The car is like, I just dig it. Go ahead.
Don't get me wrong. Like I like it, But Sherlock, if you ever, did you ever see the BBC version of Sherlock
Yeah,
with
with
Benedict Cumberbatch
yes,
and Martin Freeman?
that
That
was really
spoiled
good.
the shit out of me. That show was so good. Like you can't do any other variant of Sherlock Holmes that's going to beat that. Like that show was top notch, man.
That
And I
show's great.
still go
Yeah, yeah.
back and watch episodes because of how good it was. And it sucks because again, another like because of their success, it killed them because now you can't get those two together to do a show again.
Well, they're
So
too big now.
too big now. They weren't at the time.
They
Like they were
w-
just coming up.
they
You know
were
what I
at
mean?
the time. That's why it took like 3 years for them to get another
Well,
season out.
the first season, I think they
Bro
were
was
just
like, let me get 3 Hobbit movies in first.
yeah. Well, yeah, him too. Yeah, that's the other one. But like, man, ah, like so it's hard to beat that show. If it
It's
wasn't for Matthew Good, I don't know if I'd still be watching. To tell you the truth.
okay, fair enough. To my point, it's gotten insanely good reviews on Rotten Tomatoes from viewers, actually higher um than the critics, which is surprising on shows like this. But I think the viewership is 94% and the critic is 84%. I was a
We have
little bit surprised.
we have such a bad habit of not saying like where it's on and how many seasons or how many episodes. This is on Netflix. It's
Yes.
9 episodes, season one. This is the first season.
And they're all out, right? The whole
They're all
season
out.
is out.
Yeah, Netflix just drops it.
Okay.
But
Yeah. We're
definitely
3 in.
on Netflix. Yeah.
But yeah, to your point, it's two detectives solving cases. And there's I feel like the show is going to be about the season case and then the overall case, right? Because there's two cases going on. It's layered, right? There's the case that they've been assigned to work on, but then there's the case about what happened in the beginning of the first episode,
And
right?
so the episode that you got in, did he do the press?
Yes.
Oh, okay, yeah. That's what. Yeah, okay. So that was intense. Like that was intense, and how like
Yeah.
now those two cases are kind of like crashing into each other like some hard waves.
Right.
So again, if it wasn't Matthew Good, do I want to see
He's
another Sherlock
great.
thing? Like, yeah, he's great, and that's what keeps pulling. So I'm probably gonna watch this to the finale. Um, and again, like the
I
same thing
hope
with
you do, yeah, because I want to talk about it again.
yeah, and Alexei's is pretty dope. Like you root for this guy. His wife's baking cookies so he get an interview. You know what I mean? Like,
And there's something with him. I don't know what it is, like, because he seems like 100% good, but there's a line in the third episode where Matthew Good's character asks him, like, so in Syria, did you work for the good guys or the bad guys? And he's like, when I know, I'll tell you. But
yeah,
it's like,
yeah.
um, there's
But
another.
again, it's another cliche that's been done to death. Like this super smart PhD immigrant that came to this country now, or the other country, and they don't have the credentials of this country, so they're driving a cab, or they're doing like
Yeah,
basic
yeah.
IT. You know what I mean? Like it's these cliches that have been like done over to death that make it hard to like, like,
But
oh, okay.
no, but I feel like this is done really well because, for example, I know we speak to like certain sensitivities about shows, or even certain laziness about shows and how characters are written or presented on screen. There's a moment where Akram's character is praying. He's on his knees. He has like the little carpet, and he's praying to, he's a Muslim. And the other guy goes, he Matthew Good's character comes on screen, and he's like, "Go get me that file." And he's like, "I'm praying." He's like, "I don't give a fuck. Go get me that file," right? Because so that's like a real world disconnect that people can relate to, like not understanding one another. And then at the end of that episode, they reconcile that in a moment of vulnerability. That also feels real. That goes back to your point about him being at the press conference and his two worlds colliding. So he has a panic attack because he's overwhelmed by people asking these questions that make him reflect on this trauma that he went through. Plus, his friend is like passing away. Like, there's a lot of shit that he's dealing with. And then Akram is like, when I'm praying, like, don't interrupt me. And they kind of find that resolve, but I feel like it's earned versus like that could have been like super cheesy and cliche. Like,
But see, and like it's funny you took it from that point of view, and I took it as again like an abrasive on the spectrum, super intelligent, hyper intelligent
He's not on the
detective.
spectrum.
Well,
Are you
like
crazy?
a
He's a
Sherlock.
regular dude.
Like, you know what I mean? Like you're that intelligent where you just don't see social cues, and to a
Oh, you
point.
talking about
Like
Matthew Good's character?
Matthew Good, yeah. He's definitely like on
Oh,
some kind of like that hyper intelligent on the like
he's
kind
just
of
an
on the
asshole.
spectrum. Again, like abrasive asshole. And like Sherlock was the same thing. Like
He's the same
he's
thing, yeah.
definitely like he's missing social cues. When he was in the therapy session, he was missing the social cues with the woman about being married and things like that. Like he was missing these cues. And he's just like, and it's like he's just a dick, you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
and that was a great interaction between her and him, where she's calling him on all his shit.
Yeah. Also, that's Kelly McDonald, who's
Oh,
in
she's phenomenal.
Boardwalk Empire. Yeah, she's like another reason why I'm watching the show. She was on Boardwalk Empire. She was on oh my God, what was that Coen Brothers movie that I'm blank? She was in Train Spotting as well. She
She's
was in
attractive, intelligent,
No Country for Old Men. Yeah,
and she delivers these lines like she's so friggin' believable, man. She's really good.
speaking of delivering lines, I know this plays to your cliche. In episode 3, Akram says, I'm good at finding things that don't want to be found. Yo, I love lines like that. I
Yeah,
love
yeah.
that kind of stuff. It reminded me of what's that movie? Not A Few Good Men, The Firm with Tom Cruise, when the security guy goes, I get paid to be suspicious when there's nothing to be suspicious about. It's
Yeah,
just
yeah,
like I
yeah.
love that. I love that stuff. So yeah, it's a fun, again, like these things are either easy to get into and they can certainly be cliches because it's sort of like let's solve this murder or find this missing person kind of story. But I feel like this is certainly elevated and the choices that it makes are really considered. And I think it's based on probably really good work. I haven't read the books, obviously, but just by the way that it's been translated into this series, it feels like it's been really taken care of and it seems thoughtful in its approach.
Ironically, like I mean, obviously not ironically because it's based off of it, but the Danish novel series was called The Keeper of Lost Causes,
Mhm.
which is kind of like what his department's all about. So it's
Yeah,
like
a little on the
it's pretty
nose.
cool.
I'll blame the translation on that. This also has been made into a Danish movie. I'm not going to go down that rabbit hole, but just if
I
you want
heard
to
there was
see it,
actually a couple remakes of like
of the
whatever
original book.
iterations, yeah, of the book series. So, but I like again, like the acting is superb in this. I'm like I'm enjoying that part of it. But it's overwhelming the first couple episodes because like especially like the
Yeah,
second episode, there's so much going on, and until you see how it ties together, I felt like a little lost. And then when
yeah.
everything tied, I was like, got it. Okay, I'm good.
And it does take a moment to build up. We spend a lot of time with his supervisor, I guess, or his boss, just to establish this whole idea that this department is being put in place and why. And then he sort of fills that role and he begins to work. So there's a lot of that, like, we need to make this department, but we don't have the money. Well, we'll give you the money. And who are you going to hire for the role? There's a lot of that. And then those characters are mostly gone after that. Like his boss and the other side characters, they eventually start returning slowly. But yeah, you kind of have to go through that little bit
Yeah,
of exposition there.
just in the first episode and a half, there's like four different storylines going on at the
Yeah,
same time that you're kind of like trying to navigate. And like, if you don't let it settle and like, and let it all tie in together, you might not give the show a try. So you got to sit back and enjoy like the first two episodes at least fully,
yeah,
and then like, dive in.
yeah. I agree. I think maybe the first one's gonna hit you with a bit of a twist at the end, but and then the second one you kind of sit with it. I don't know. Certainly check it out. I would definitely recommend it, and it's certainly getting really good reviews. But yeah, we'll leave it there. That's all I got to say about that. I'm gonna go finish watching episode 2 now. Um,
Coming up, I mean, Ballerina's out, Mission Impossible's still out. So
I
this week, How to
I
Train
still
Your
want to
Dragon.
see. Okay, go for it.
Oh wait, you still want to see what? Mission
Mission
Impossible?
Impossible. I haven't
You
had the
didn't see
chance.
that yet?
Nah,
Damn, I thought you were like a big fan of Mission
I
Impossible
was,
3.
but then it's like, hey, Lilo and Stitches, and then it's like, let's watch the. You know why? It's like a 3-hour movie. I need to find the right fucking time to actually sit and watch that. If it's like 9:30, I'm not gonna watch that.
Yeah, that's the problem. I usually go late night, right
Right.
after like my daughter's asleep or whatever. I'll go like on a Thursday night at like 10 o'clock. But with this movie, I can't, man. It's a freaking
No,
3 hour movie.
I
So
know.
I'm trying to get it in at some point, but I just haven't had time.
I might have to go solo, just like Sunday morning at like 10:30 a.m. or something.
Yeah, if I'm gonna catch this, unless I'm waiting for streaming, I'm gonna have to go like I'm gonna have to figure out a time because I can't do this one on late night. I did Bloodline, Final Destination Bloodlines, and it's kind of like a bookend to the whole series.
Oh, really? A
And that
bookend?
was yeah, it's
I
like
thought it'd be a revival.
no, it hits the beginning and it hits the end of like the whole series. It's like a nice book ending to it. Um, but it leaves it open for all the stories in between, which is pretty
Ah,
great.
okay.
So they did a really great job, tying everything. But anyway, I got to see that because it was like a nice tight 90-minute, like
Yep.
maybe like a little less than 2 hours, whatever. Also, and then guess next week, you know what else is coming up?
What?
Friggin' 20 years
Oh,
20 years
finally.
later. Yeah,
That
that's
I'm
next
gonna
week.
see.
So it's like, and Ballerina, like whatever. I'm hearing like it's pretty dope. It's like
Really? Because I think it's I'm hearing it's a disaster.
really.
Yeah.
I heard she carries her own, and she makes you believe like she's kind of like John Wick's like little sister. That's a badass.
Damn,
They
yeah.
said it was a mess.
Yeah, I heard it was kind of a mess. But
Wow.
the is it out yet or no?
Yeah, it's
It's
out.
out.
It's out.
Yeah, no, the audience loves it. 93. And
Yeah,
critic
I've been
okay,
hearing good
so
reviews about it.
maybe it's
Yeah,
pretty good. Maybe it's pretty good. Maybe I'm
but
wrong.
yeah, 20 friggin' finally, man.
It's
And
been
like,
28 years, man.
yeah, right. And like, how you guys were talking about, you and Pedro were saying like it was nowhere to be found on the streaming, and
Right.
um, and now it's funny because I think Hulu got one of them, and I think they're starting to open it up again.
Yeah, one of them is out. It's the second one. The 28 weeks later, I think you can get that one, but 28 days later has been unavailable for a long time. But yeah, I think you say it might be on Hulu.
I got to check where I could have sworn I saw it streaming somewhere, but anyway, that's like that's going to be a definite watch, and that like that's next week. So it's a lot of good stuff coming right now,
Yeah,
and
I
it's a
think
nice mix of like family and like horror or like like serious bloody action or whatever.
yeah, the summer there's a lot of good stuff coming out. We have I think Superman is that June or July?
Yo, we're trying to get off, man. Don't get me started on Superman
Okay, yeah, we're
because
trying to sign off.
yo,
Okay.
that trailer was a phenomenal. Like I'm all hyped up. I'm hyped up.
So yeah, we'll do a pod
Fantastic
on that.
Four. So much
That's
coming out.
July. That's like late July, right?
Yeah, first comes out Superman. I think he's the second week of July, like after the 4th of July weekend. And then Fantastic Four, I think is 2 weeks later.
Okay, cool. All right. So come hang out with us again. Leave a comment, subscribe, like, and we'll see you next time. Good talking to you, Paul.
Good talking.